Hi, welcome to the podcast. I hope you guys are doing great. We're back again. I don't like this sport anymore. We have to do this again.
Hey,
Honestly, it's
not been a great week.
raining.
Yes, it has.
It has been for one of you.
Wow.
It's been a fantastic week.
Nah.
Honestly, we've just come off the back of the Everton game, and I don't have anything to shout about anymore. I have no stress left in me. I just don't. I'm just sick and tired of the sport. I'm sick and tired of football. I'm sick and tired of seeing my club have absolutely no fight on the pitch until injury time. At least we finished with 11 men for the first time in like 6
That's a
months.
bonus.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
It's just so dry to watch. Like the only time I actually enjoyed watching, I haven't enjoyed watching Arsenal play in the Premier League at any moment until the last 5 minutes of that Everton game, and we still didn't score. It was amazing, and it proved a lot of things. A lot of the players do not care. They don't fight for Arteta. They don't fight for the club. They don't fight for the fans. A lot of them don't. You can see that because the moment Martinelli came on, you saw him doing things that Pepe, Willian, Lacazette, Aubameyang were not doing the entire time that he was injured.
What position was
Finding
Willian
space.
playing in? Like, I swear
don't
you
know.
had
I'm pretty
3
sure he was in
rings.
Cam.
Yeah.
He was in Cam, I think,
not
and he
a
was
great
awful.
idea.
He was so rubbish. No, but I'm sorry. I don't really care about his positioning or his position. There's certain fundamentals of football that you should know you need to do or not do. The guy is just standing there in the middle of the park waiting for the ball to come for him and for him to do what? Sky it to Rose, whip it to either wing for them to do nothing or lose the ball every time without fail. I don't know why we're still playing someone who can't do it. You understand who we need. We're not going to sign our, even if they have no money because of this Telefoot scandal. We might get Buendia. Okay, cool. He's in the Championship, doing okay. He did really good in the Prem, but I don't know if he's still got it in him for a club like Arsenal. And it's just, I just don't enjoy watching it anymore. It's just not fun. Well, where do we go from here? Because when you look at our attacking stats, you know, I want to bring you into this because we are last in everything apart from shots on target, which we're 19th in.
But I think the thing is some people could see it from last season. I mean, I said it to you guys. Your main attacking threat was Aubameyang, and if he didn't score those goals, you were probably in the same position of what you're in now. So
yeah,
Aubameyang's
right.
stopped scoring, and look what's happened. It's pretty much what some people said was going to happen. So you need to find someone to score goals for you.
We need
Well,
someone to make goals as well. People aren't creating.
that's the
Well,
real
to be
problem, I
honest-
think. The creativity
to be
more
honest,
than
though-
the quality of striker.
Do you know what though? Again, watching the last 5 minutes of that game, we were creating. We were. Saka and Maitland-Niles were creating like crazy. I think Maitland-Niles probably created about 3 or 4 chances in 5 minutes, and like in that.
Well, I mean,
game, it was
and Tierney.
The full. I don't want to see Bellerin now. Maitland-Niles has clearly shown he is so clear of Bellerin. So clear, and then he shifted to the center of. Oh my days! When he shifted to the middle of the park, just a little bit. He was still playing right back, but he moved in a little bit. He was quality. I want to see him there. I want to see him playing in right back. I want to see him on the pitch because he made a ball in that Willie just couldn't get a good connection with, which he should have really put away. And then he made another one in the box, and nobody's there.
Yeah.
Where is everyone? Did you see it? One of the last kicks he did.
Yeah.
Literally
It was
a
pretty
beautiful little like line, and nobody's there to just tap it in. No
thing
one.
is, that's where you'd expect Aubameyang would normally be. Just kind of.
Yeah,
but he wouldn't have been.
But
I bet if Aubameyang was there, he wouldn't have been there. He wouldn't have been in there to do
potentially.
it. Not with his form at the moment. He's just not seem. He doesn't seem to want to be in the space to score. He got a pretty lucky goal. He did nothing really in the goal he scored against Southampton. Saka did all of the work. And it's so obvious the people who want to fight are the Hale End dons. All of them. Honestly, I just want to see a Hale End 11. Because at least you know there'd be some fight for the full 90, not just the last 5 minutes. When Willian's like, I might use the rest of my stamina now that I've been saving.
I'm going to somewhat supposedly to the extreme here, but if Arsenal do let's just say they get relegated, right? What happens to all those
I'm not gonna.
good potential youngsters? Will they stay at Arsenal, or will you just suddenly lose your academy pretty much? Like, what normally happens to big?
maybe-
Because Leeds, for example, when
They don't
when
leave.
they got
They don't
rid-
leave. Halen would, because most of them are good enough for low tier Prem teams. They'd be like flipping fire sale. It happened with Leeds years ago.
yeah, because
they
they
all
were
just kinda
that was a
left.
surprise. That was a surprise when Leeds got relegated.
The difference with Leeds was they got relegated because of their awful, financial situation. They
Yeah,
basically
terrible money.
spent way too much, and it ended up coming back to bite them. Whereas, Arsenal's finances are certainly
complete
not
opposite.
great, but they're
They're not spending
they're
enough.
not Leeds'
They're
level.
not great though, but not as bad as Leeds. We don't. I can't even say we don't overspend because we've clearly overspent for Pepe. I think Pepe
That's true, yeah.
Pepe is like a bit part player. He's not the shining light of a club. He not at least not in a team, not a league like the Premier League. He needs quality around him that can feed, and he can also come in with a really good goal. Sort of like Bobby Firmino. Bobby Firmino on his own. If you put Bobby Firmino in like a team like Burnley, and he was like the best player at Burnley, he wouldn't perform because he hasn't got people around him. Whereas he's got Salah and Mane who can sort of like help him and also take the limelight off of him. Whereas there's so much spotlight on Pepe to be this crazy, amazing goal scorer because we spent £77 million on him and he isn't doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
See,
that's the problem nowadays. Like with these price tags, like it's
Yeah.
almost ruining careers to
I
some
think-
extent.
I think the thing is, it's not like his fault that Arsenal thought he was a world beater. He
Yeah.
that's true.
he
was
performed
really
he
good.
performed well in a league that's not as good as ours, and he scored. Let's be honest, he scored like 10 penalties that season. But he still had a decent season, but it certainly wasn't 72 million. And at the end of the day, it's not his fault that Arsenal thought, "Oh my god, this guy's amazing," and
Yeah.
slapped 72 mil down on him. So it's a kind of similar thing that I've noticed with a couple of the more impatient Wolves fans who have already been saying, 35 million on Fabio Silva, what a waste of time, he's not good. And that is so harsh considering it's not his fault we spent 35 mil on him.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with him.
the
He's
thing
just
is-
got to do the best he can.
that is just football though, at the end of the day. At the minute, most clubs are spending big on younger players. Look at what Chelsea's done. We spent how much on Kepa, which was a massive gamble. We've just done it on Kai Havertz. Like with Fabio Silva, Kai's getting loads of criticism, but look how young he is.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's. But how old is Pepe?
25,
24.
I'd say. 24?
No, he's not 25. He's not 25 yet. He just turned 24 when we signed him, I think. So he should be 25 soon. That's the thing, you can't even use the young. That's why we used to compare him to Zaha, because Zaha would have been cheaper, but he was also.
He's 25.
27 at the time. He's 25 now.
Yeah.
When did he turn 25?
29th of May.
Oh, I was way off. All right, now. My bad. But Zaha's 28 now. He's in his prime, don't get me wrong.
Oh,
He's in his prime, but we wouldn't put many years for him.
He's still got, at least a year, two, maybe, 2 years until prime age.
Before he hits his prime
So,
age, yeah. But
yeah.
his contract, he's on. I think he's on either a 4 or 5 year deal, and at the end of the season, he's either got 2 or 3 years left of his contract, and then we really need to start considering either do we re-sign him or sell him at the end of next season.
But how much of a loss will you
that
get?
is we'll make a huge loss. We're not good. We didn't sign Pepe to make a profit, though, did we? Because £77 million.
No, but you don't want to lose that
profit
much, though.
range.
You don't want to lose, sell him for 30, say, sell him for...
It depends how it goes, doesn't it? We have to see how what he does. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
those are the risks you take when you sign someone that expensive who isn't proven in the Prem. And
So-
it's a real shame that we have to go through this. We've slapped William with a huge contract, and he has done absolutely nothing. He has
William
he
was...
got a couple of assists in the first game.
Yeah, he was starting to slow down anyway at Chelsea. He wasn't. He was still a great player. Don't get me wrong. But
but do you see,
he's not.
do you
He's
see
getting
the
old now.
difference in between the two clubs, though? Because I was talking to my dad about this. Do you see the difference between the two clubs? Chelsea clearly are a very well-run club. People don't really talk about it much because they're so good, and you don't They don't even notice it, but they're really, really well run. And you let a player go out on a high because why would you want them to go out on a low note? Same with Drew. You're not going to sign Drew in a new contract. Drew's going to leave at the end of the season. And
I mean, he could leave in January.
A great player. He could leave in January. Either way, he's not staying until next. You're not going to see him in a Chelsea next season, and that's probably good. You leave on a high note. You don't need to run him out into these breaks like we're doing with Willian, like we're doing with David Luiz. Who, by the way, David Luiz was one of our most creative players on the pitch today, more than Willian. It's ridiculous. Like, there's quality in them, but
thing is,
why
David
would you
Luiz
want such a short-term option?
David Luiz is a really creative player. When you actually look at what he's done in his career, he's such a creative player. He can play out the back. I mean, he is. I mean, so many people. Yeah, I mean, so many people are going to argue against me with this, but he is a centre defensive midfielder. He's not a centre back, or he has to play in the back three, because he can be really creative, and he doesn't have the pressure.
I doesn't see him in a midfield three. I mean, like a midfield three of like Partey and maybe like Smith or something, and I was like sitting deep.
But yeah, so I think, but he's past his sell by date as well. So
yeah, I think I reckon this rumor about you signing Buendia from Norwich, it's one of the ones that you could absolutely see happening. It's not unrealistic, and I'd say 25 to 30 million at most.
That's the rumor.
Yeah, so I reckon that would be a really good signing for you, because what we saw today and what we've seen recently is, yes, you in the last kind of 5-10 minutes you created more chances than you had previously, but most of them were just from crossing it in. Basically, you had Maitland-Niles on the one side, Saka and Tierney on the other, and they were just whipping crosses in, and they were, most of them were good crosses, and a couple of them found their way onto Lacazette's head, and there's an opportunity there, but you need someone who is a bit more incisive and can, pick apart a defence. And you look at Buendia, he's absolutely dominating the Championship this year. And last season in the Premier League, he created the third most chances of any player in the league for a team that got relegated.
That's what I want.
That's
what I want, man.
And he got dropped for several games as well.
And he still killed it, yeah.
Yeah, so
I think
what I need. That's the kind of signing that you need to be making, rather than splashing like massive amounts of money on big high-profile players. You need to make these intelligent, slightly cheaper signings of players that are maybe not as high-profile, but you look at the stats and you look at how they're performing, they are ready to step up a level.
Like a Leicester signing, isn't it?
The thing is, though, with that is you're not scoring either. I mean, you created loads of chances at the end of that game. You didn't score. Like
they're not that high quality chances. They're not that high quality chances.
They aren't. It brings the question like Nketiah's quality now, because the guy is 20 or 21, and yes, he does good for the under 21s. He has a record, but it's almost like he can't make that jump, and I don't know if he will.
But it's like, the thing is,
people seem to be clinical. He gets in positions and he doesn't score, or he doesn't even get in the positions half the time.
But there is a time where certain youngsters kind of almost are in the gap. Like, they're too good for the under 23s or under 21s, but they just can't make that leap up to it's a good example.
It's a big
Jonathan Solanke.
What, Hudson-Odoi?
Oh, yeah, Hudson-Odoi.
He absolutely rips up the under 21s and under 23s, but he just can't make his mark in senior football for some reason. And he's that
brings the question: like, would you give Hudson-Odoi time, or what would you do? Honestly?
I mean, personally, I'd like Hudson-Odoi to go to Bayern on a loan deal.
They wouldn't take one loan, would they?
But
I don't see how that would be that good for his development to go for a club where, how does he get more minutes at Bayern than at Chelsea?
I don't think it's going to... Yeah, but when you
don't beat Coleman, Gnabry, Sane, and Douglas Costa on the island.
Yeah. Nah, but the problem is you say that, but he doesn't get... He can't get time over a striker on the wing. Like, Tammy Abraham has come in...
What I'm saying, I'm not disagreeing... I'm not disagreeing that you should send him out on loan. I just don't think Bayern's the right choice at all.
I mean, it's the only club
that's looking at him.
Taking
him because Sancho doesn't want to be there. Sancho's head's gone at Dortmund. He's had a really rubbish season. I can see Dortmund going for him. I think he's really good at Dortmund.
I mean,
game time.
he needs a
Dortmund's the
loan.
kind of club that he would be at, that you could see Hudson-Odoi doing well at. Although,
I mean,
I do kind of disagree with this idea that Sancho's playing badly this season. He's not at his levels that he was reaching last season,
best,
but he does still have the second most assists in the league.
I don't know whether it's just me looking at him more now, but he seems like COVID, his fitness kind of, went. So
maybe, but that's not. It's like it's not a massive criticism of the player. No, it isn't.
I mean, when he played for England, he looked bigger than what he did when he played for us before. Without trying to make it sound really harsh, but he kind of had that extra body mass.
I do want to say, I agree. I do want to say before we move on though. Obviously, I've had a few people talk to me after the run last week with the whole Arteta thing, because obviously I said I wasn't going to back Arteta. I don't know if I still back him anymore. I don't know, because the problem is that no one fights for him anymore. I like him as a manager, and I think he's a great guy, but none of those players the players he's signed has.
I think,
but nice guys don't win. Like, look at Jose Mourinho. He can be an absolute ass when it comes to press, the way he talks to people. Yet he can also be a nice guy. He's got that flip. You can't just be a nice guy when you're managing a team, because it doesn't always work. I mean, it's like that. It's like that saying.
Quite nice. Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, but I'm sure that if someone goes out of place, I'm sure he absolutely rips into him. I mean, you've got to have that flip side, and if you Arteta just doesn't seem to really, I don't know, he doesn't seem authoritative. No, that's not the right word. He doesn't stamp his authority. Yeah, but I don't know. It's a difficult one for him, but he needs to start telling his team not to score in goals. That might help you out.
It's a situation that I think is kind of comparable to Pochettino, the end of Pochettino's time at Spurs, because it's a similar thing where you it's not necessarily the manager's fault at all times, but if all the players are not willing to play for the manager, even if it's not necessarily the manager's fault, the players are more at fault for their lack of application. It's still maybe the best thing for the club to get rid of the manager and just getting someone who the players are more willing to fight for.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I think all it really takes is like one really, really big win. So, for example, the next two games you've got Man City and Chelsea. Just one good result out of that could all of a sudden spark something.
Yeah, but we're not going to get one though, are we? We're not going to get a good result out of them, are we?
I mean, you never know.
No, we're not. We aren't. The best case scenario is we get a 0-0 draw. We're not going to score against City's defence no matter how rubbish they are. We're not going to score against Chelsea no matter how rubbish their defence is, even though it isn't rubbish at the moment. We're just not. The way we're playing, there's no way. And we have Chelsea before Boxing Day, which means we still have a rubbish team then. We'd have to sign someone January 1st to have a chance of maybe recovering. But
you are a team that have got the quality. There's no doubt about it. I mean,
do we honestly?
You do.
There's quality in the team, but there's not quality in enough of the right areas.
Lacazette's past his best. Aubameyang, okay, I'm going to have reserve judgment on Aubameyang because he seems like he's past his best, but he also could be in a rough patch. I agree, Haaland have quality, but they're still very raw. Willian clearly isn't good enough at this point. Ceballos isn't good enough. El Neni, I like El Neni. He has the fire, has the energy, but he just isn't. He didn't have the quality to be in the squad.
But you're looking at their form at the minute. I mean, they're on really, really bad form. If they
I'm not, because El Neni's never really had the quality to be in our squad. That's why he went to Besiktas on loan, and he did okay.
No, but the likes of Aubameyang, Willian, Pepe, they have got the quality, and they've proven it. All you need is a really good...
Aubameyang and Willian had the quality. Do they still have it? I don't know. Willian, I don't think he will ever will have fun again.
I mean...
Aubameyang, I'm reserving judgment. I said I'm reserving judgment because he could just be in a rough patch and he just might need some time to just recover. Willian, I don't believe in him, honestly. I have no belief in Willian. I don't really want to see him play again for us. But I know he will because on a 3-year bloody contract. I want to see Ozil come back. I don't know how much Ozil will offer. I don't know how much Ozil will offer, honestly, but I just want to see him come back because I know that he occasionally can just come out with something mad. That's all we need. We just need one bit of madness.
He is... I don't know, like I said, I don't know whether he would still be able to contribute the same level that he used to, but He's the kind of person that he can all of a sudden just pick a pass out of nowhere.
Exactly,
and the whole defense is
He
gone.
could be doing
That's
nothing.
the quality. That's what Ozil was always about. That was his quality, and that's the kind of player that you don't have. So
he could be doing nothing all game and just pick out a madness out of nowhere, and that's it. Just changes his whole rating in the game, and that's a goal right there. And that's all we need. All we need is one goal, and we can defend. If we really need to grind out a result, that's all we need. And
I think
we don't even have anyone who can do that.
Arteta's a pretty decent defensive coach. We've seen so far. So if you did have a lead, there's a decent chance you'd be able to ride it out. And defense is like, you can build a good defense out of not great defenders, like Mourinho's done that in the past. And while none of you defenders are outstanding, Gabriel looks like, maybe he will become outstanding.
I agree.
But from that defense, from those defenders, Arteta has the ability to create a really good defense. So it's just about getting that little bit more quality in the creative end, and just making sure there's someone there who can finish it. And suddenly, I mean, the Premier League's so close this season. 2 or 3 like 1-0 wins, and you'll be in the top half. So it's not like there's no positives to take from this situation at the end of the day. And there are players who played pretty well today, and you in terms of in possession and your build up play, it's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, it's looking up so good in our possession play. We had 80% possession.
Yeah, but you don't do anything with it though. That's the thing. That is a problem. It's like the commentators
that's the creativity sort of factor in it.
But it's like
exactly.
Carragher. He was saying that it's all well and good having possession and fancy passing around. But at the end of the day, the aim of the game is to score goals, and you're just not doing it.
Yeah, and that's that extra quality that you need, that little bit of incisiveness to make all that possession worth it, and to actually turn it into something that will get you points. Because that's what you don't have right now. It's not actually a huge change at the end of the day. It's quite a small change. It's 1 or 2 signings, and suddenly you're okay again. You're not going to get relegated.
I mean,
and
the other thing
is the fact that that's a possibility. The fact that that's a possibility is. It just sucks, man. I don't know. I think because I've been a football fan, for at least an Arsenal fan, in times of always being through hardship, and this is still the worst. Like, I was a fan since we lost to Birmingham in the Carling Cup. That's like the first or second season I was like a proper Arsenal fan.
But the thing is as well,
still just going through it, man.
I mean, personally, I don't like Arteta. I think that's just because of the rivalry. But to be fair to him, it's not his team. I mean, you've still got. Emery's team.
I've said that. Yeah, I've said that. Like the people who are in his team are quality. Apart from Tierney, who was signed before him, Gabriel looks really good. Partey looks really good. Mari looks, when he plays, he looks good.
I think if he can get past, I reckon if he can get to 2 or 3 transfer windows and get like 6 or potentially just 6 players of his own, I think you could be looking at a better Arsenal team, but it's whether he can get past that.
That's kind of the problem, because you can't, like, this is a problem with teams that keep going through managers constantly, and they started to get this issue of, you have so many different players who've been signed by different managers with different plans and ideologies, that you end up with like a mishmash of most of the players don't even fit in the current manager's team. So that's what people mean when they say, stick with the project. You need to give people time to build their own vision for a team, and then slowly things come to fruition.
Yeah, I think with Chelsea, we've been quite lucky in the fact that we've been able to spend when we've got a manager come in so much. Like Jose Mourinho, he built pretty much a completely new team when he came in the second time. Frank Lampard has pretty much built his own team. I mean, we've been very, very lucky with the youngsters that have came in and have actually performed. I mean, people say that Tammy Abraham's not that great, but look what he did at the start of last season. I mean, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have got where we got 4th place. So it's. Can
I just say a quick stat I've seen on Twitter as well, real quick? Because in the last 10 Premier League games, we've won 1 game, and we have only scored 2 goals in open play in that period. If Brighton win their game in hand, they will to 16th. And if Burnley win their 2 games in hand, or even just a win, no, they need to win their 2 games in hand.
Have they got
If
2
they do
games in
that-
hand?
Yeah. If they do that, we'll be 3.
Oh.
We'll be
No, you're 5 points off
5
relegations.
5 points. 5 points above the relegation zone.
But Fulham have
which
got a
is-
game that's on now, is it?
Yeah, just
Okay,
started
right.
as we speak.
So if they were to win that,
You're
if they were to win that, right,
2 points off.
we are 2 points off the relegation zone. Why are we fighting a relegation battle?
The thing is, you
We
actually
should,
are.
not be,
which
we
is-
should we should never be. We are now. We are officially fighting a relegation
Which-
battle, and after Chelsea and Man City, it will be an official relegation battle.
Which is
If
why.
we still, and there's no way Arteta's staying after that.
Well,
If
that's
we genuinely fight relegation, but I can't see him honestly staying. If we slip into the relegation zone just once, for a split second, he's gone. There's no way. And unfortunately, I don't feel in my heart that I can actually still back this guy. And I really like Arteta because he won me a trophy, and it was a great thing
that
to
is
see
that is the
him
problem.
beat Chelsea
And
at Wembley.
I
But
mentioned it.
I can't.
The thing is, I mentioned it 2 episodes ago, where I said like, yeah, you're in a rebuild state, but any rebuild of the top 6, they should still be top 10 at least, pretty much all the
Yeah.
time. I
It
mean,
kind
it's,
of-
it's,
Yeah, like Liverpool always top 10 in their rebuild.
Yeah, like when Klopp's first season, they finished 8th or 9th, I think, and Chelsea have had a couple of times where they've been way off like what they should be, and they've finished. I think 10th is probably the lowest they've finished in the last
Yeah.
15, 20 years. So this is
Look at the
unprecedented. Like
Yeah.
We went from going
how
to Champions
poor
League
Arsenal
finals
are.
like 15 years ago. 15 years ago, we were in Champions League final. We got shafted by the crap referee.
I
And
mean,
a dumb red card.
you're a Europa League
And
final.
now our stress is that we're fighting a relegation battle.
I mean,
In 15 years, we've gone from Champions League final, Europa League final, to the final day of the season, trying not to get relegated and trying to get a point above Fulham.
It was only
in
what
the
2
final day of the
seasons
season.
ago. You were in Europa League final against us. It wasn't that
Don't
long
remind me,
ago.
bro. It's just,
What a day that
are
was.
we honestly? Is that team going to take us to Europa League final, even if we play our strongest team?
Oh no.
No, because we'll get knocked out by someone like us. We've got Benfica. I don't even feel optimistic about Benfica, to be honest. It's ridiculous. We're not going to win the FA Cup again. I can't see us winning that twice. I can't even see us winning the Carabao Cup, and nobody cares about that. Like, doesn't anyone honestly care about
I
the
mean,
trophy?
you-
It's just there.
Nah,
The
it's
finishing is there.
City's. It's City's trophy, that is. I don't think anyone really cares about it anymore.
It's just, no. I don't really feel optimistic about the sport. I'm going to go to NFL. Can we turn this podcast into an NFL, NBA podcast? I'm going to wear a big Tom Brady jersey. I'm calling it a jersey now. Wow.
Well,
Flipping heck.
talking about being upset about sport, I was very upset
Yes, you were. You should be. That's
the
sick, man.
other day.
Sam Goddings is very happy at you. I already know you have a giant smile on your face because,
I do.
I mean, that was a mad game. I caught the last, I think,
The-
30 or 35 minutes.
The
of
thing
that game.
is, I think it was 60th minute. I turned around to my brother and said, "We ain't gonna win this. The momentum's all in Wolves' side. They're gonna score."
Yeah, well,
And they scored. And I think a lot of it was fatigue. We weren't at our best. And I think a lot of it was because of how tired our players are. I mean, we haven't got Ziyech out for injury. Pulisic has just came back, and you could tell that his fitness wasn't there because he just was non-existent second half. Reece James didn't bother tracking back in the second half, so he was just gone. I mean, I didn't actually notice Mount that much in that game. Werner, non-existent, seemed tired and just couldn't run. Havertz, well, let's just not talk about Havertz at the minute.
was that your first game? Did you have a 3-game rest or was it 2 or 3? You never
It wasn't long. Well, what was one?
You
Was,
fought
I
hard
think
in
we,
the
I think we
Everton
played
game as well.
Saturday. I think we played Saturday was Everton, and then Tuesday was it?
Yeah,
Was
Tuesday.
Wolves. So that's what
Yeah, so
Sunday,
it's
Monday.
basically 3 days of
Yeah.
no football, which is not enough time to like. Wolves. When did Wolves play? Oh,
I
you
think
played
we-
the same day, so you got no. You had the same. Amount
It was
of
the
rest, to be
same,
fair.
but don't forget we've had Champions League games this season. We just played Leeds, which is a very high demanding game.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It's a shame,
it's not,
but-
but it's not an excuse because it shouldn't be an excuse. We are a.
Did you bring
club
Neto
that-
off the bench then?
Did we bring
No.
you off the bench?
Neto. Or was he playing? Did he do the full?
No,
90 minutes?
Neto started the game.
Yeah.
Neto is right now undisputed, like first name on the team sheet, pretty much. He's playing out of his skin.
He's been really good. He'll be the next like high profile sale. I think he'll sell him for quite a lot of money if you decide to.
I did after his performance against Chelsea. I started to see like people on Twitter and stuff saying, "Oh, we should sign Neto." I saw Liverpool fans saying, "Oh yeah, let's get another one from Wolves." 35 mil plus Origi. Are you mad?
You'd have a Origi though. You'd have a Origi.
Listen, I'd take Origi. I'd take Origi.
Exactly.
We need another striker. But the idea that we would sell Neto for 35 mil plus Origi is a joke.
So much more. You could sell him for so much more, and he's young.
Nothing less than 100 mil.
What?
Why? Okay, calm
Okay.
down.
Because we don't need to sell him.
In his contract?
Because we don't need to sell him.
How long
we signed him last season. He's got at least 4 years left on his contract.
Yeah.
At least.
So if anyone came in, you'd ask for that. There's no way you'd sell him really for anything like that.
Yeah, we'd say, okay, if you want him, 100 mil on the table or nothing. Because we don't need to sell.
He's
we have
probably
so much
worth 40 at max.
Yeah, right now.
40?
For another team,
that's a bit
team to buy him, I'd say they'd probably be at most willing to spend 40 or 50 mil. And no, that's fair enough from their end. Right. But from our end, we're not going to accept 40 or 50 mil because we have no reason.
I get what you mean.
It's the same.
You just wouldn't sell him. Instead of putting up a price and just say, no, we're not selling him.
Liverpool love your club. They're trying to make you into their next feeder club, like Southampton.
Yeah,
they want Adama, they want Neto. They're going for Podence next.
I mean, if you can sell Jimenez, Adama.
You wouldn't sell Jimenez.
No,
Jimenez
but say
I
you
don't
could,
think
you
we'd
could
sell
get,
him. I don't think Jimenez
like,
is old enough at this point where he would just stay. Clubs wouldn't want to spend that much.
No,
time.
but what I'm saying is, if you could sell Jimenez for say 65 mil, Adama for 60 mil, and then potentially Neto say the same price, I'd be like, yeah, sure, we'll get a load of sick players in instead. I mean, they're at the end of it.
Jimenez and Adama, like particularly Adama, I'd say, yeah, sure, we'll take that. Neto would be a bit like more unhappy about, just because at the end of the day, I think he's got so much potential. And I want to see him at Wolves for at least 3 or 4 more years.
But if you
could like absolutely flourish at this club,
if you could get an absolute ton of money, you could build a pretty decent squad. You could start to bring. I mean, you've already got the connections to bring in players. It's just like, the money and
if we had.
It's your recruitment as well.
Yeah,
you've got very good recruitment, so I think you'd be alright in that department.
But
I mean, go on.
No, I was just going to put back in with the games that Chelsea played. 2nd of December, 5th of December, 8th of December, 12th, and then 15th. I mean,
that is a horrible schedule. I won't take that away from you. That is awful.
Sevilla, I suppose you can kind of say it was all right. We didn't play our actual squad. Then we had Leeds on the 5th. That's a horrible game. Then Champions League. So Saturday, Tuesday, Champions League game. Then Saturday, Everton. Then Tuesday again, Wolves.
Yeah.
And then, I think it's the first time in ages we've had 6 days rest. Oh, I say they have had 6 days rest.
It's not, fun, it's a really demanding schedule. But at the same time, that is kind of the price of success in this day and age.
Oh, yeah.
Every big club with the money and the squad, that's what you expect. That's what happens.
I mean, the size of our squad, we've probably got one of the biggest squads in the Premier League, if not the biggest.
Yeah.
And our second team should be like the smaller teams. Our second team should be not destroying, but getting results out of. Like the likes of, I mean, our second team consists at the back consists of Azpilicueta, Rudiger, Christiansen, and then you've got either Emerson or Marcos Alonso. But I mean, that back four isn't bad. It's
no, I mean that's a back four that's been a starting back four for you in the past.
Yeah,
but it wasn't like good. But it wasn't good Europa League football.
I mean, and then in midfield you've got the second one is Jorginho, Kovacic, and
I mean, how much money did you spend on Jorginho and Kovacic, and now they're apparently in second 11?
Well, exactly.
It's crazy.
That's mad.
I mean,
they're leaving in January.
Billy Gilmore.
I don't think Kovacic will. I think Kovacic is still, going to. I wouldn't necessarily put Kovacic in your second team. I think he's still a pretty important member.
No, but if you look 11. At when we were playing our best this season, it was Mount and Havertz in the middle.
Yeah, but Kovacic would have comfortably outperformed Havertz in that role.
Oh yeah,
100%. What's going on with Havertz, by the way? Because he hasn't really performed since he's come.
The thing is, I don't want to say because the problem is he's a big price tag, like we said before with Pepe. He's really young, so you can't we put him too much pressure on him. I think to perform ridiculously well.
Well, I mean, no, he was tearing up the Bundesliga and the Champions League before this, so we know he's got qualities in him.
Yeah, he has, but when we were winning games, he was fine. I mean, okay, he made a couple of sloppy passes, so he was getting used to the team, but he was slowly, progressively getting better, and then all of a sudden he got really ill.
He was the same thing about remember Bakayoko used to be like a hot prospect, and then he did that stupid pass to remember the advertising board, or he passed it to advertising board, and he went out on loan for 3 spells, and now he's tearing up in AC. But
I think Havertz has got you've got to give him some time. I think he's a player that's going to take a bit of time, and the time is definitely on his side, without a doubt.
What, from like a breakout season? Do you think he'll have like a breakout season?
Yeah, I think near the end of the season you'll see him perform better. I mean, Pulisic last season, he started the season dreadfully. He wasn't good at all. I mean, he didn't even get into.
Was he dreadful?
I mean, he wasn't dreadful, but he wasn't great. He wasn't getting into the first team at all. And then look what happened. He turned into one of our best players, if not the best player. It takes time. I mean, there's so many great players in the Premier League that have had like not a great first season, and then all of a sudden become really, really good, or have left the Premier League and came back, and they're just amazing. So I think,
and I mean, as Chelsea fan, you have more than enough examples of players leaving your club to go to another league, killing it, and coming back and being some of the best players in the league.
Yeah, so I
think like I said with Bakayoko, because I saw him the other day. I saw him play the other day.
Bakayoko's been really good the last couple of years.
He's so good. Like when he comes back, if you have him back after the loan, like
I think Napoli will probably sign him on a permanent deal.
Yeah, I think they'll probably do that. I think there's talks of them doing it in January. I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
But yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, we've still got. We've got such a good midfield and so many midfielders. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's certainly no loss for you it's no loss for you for Bakayoko to go to Napoli.
I think you'll sell Jorginho as well, though, because he's not playing.
I think this January is all about us selling. Like Alonso or Emerson will go. Jorginho will probably go. Tomori potentially go out on loan.
I don't know why Tomori's like. Why aren't you playing Tomori? Because he's not bad. He's not a bad player.
I think it probably just comes down to Lampard probably wanting to keep in the Premier League at least. I don't know how much he's played in the Champions League, but in the Premier League, right now your 2 centre backs, Zuma and Thiago Silva, have been pretty outstanding this season.
Well, yeah,
and you want to keep that consistency going in the league.
I also think there's this whole Lampard wants a senior player and then someone that's not isn't a senior player, a younger player. So, for example, Thiago Silva comes in, he has Zuma, and I think also because he's managing Thiago Silva more than Zuma, because you can't play Thiago Silva all the time. It will just cripple him and it will get really badly. So he's taking out Thiago
thing as well.
Well, that and also
same language, Silva and Zuma.
But I think because he's going to take out Thiago Silva instead of Zuma more because of the age, and then you're not going to put in Tomori and Zuma. Because you haven't got that senior player.
You'd probably go for Rudiger, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so and I think then after that you've got Christensen. I think Tomori's kind of at the back of the queue at the minute. So I think he needs a loan move. There's a couple of he makes some silly mistakes because he's new. Well, I'll say he's new to it. He's been playing for how many years since he was able to walk. But it's just learning the game a bit more, playing in the Premier League a bit more because he hasn't played that often for us.
He's barely touched the ball this season. But I think it's, as you mentioned, Lampard using Thiago Silva as kind of like that veteran, that mentor for Zuma. And then let's say 1 or 2 years, Thiago Silva's 38, probably not good enough or fit enough to start in the Premier League anymore. So then by that point, Kurt Zuma's more of a senior player. He's in that position where he can be more of a mentor. And then Tomori, who was at that point maybe 22, 23, I don't quite know how old he is. At that point, Tomori maybe comes in and Zuma can be that kind of figure for him in a way.
Yeah, I think you'll probably see. I mean, Tomori, he's 23 at the minute, so I think he's kind of missed it. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie.
23.
Yeah,
That seems.
It's his birthday today. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Fikeo, tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's it really?
So they showed a video on Chelsea of him mugging off Ziyech in the Champions League last season. It's quite
Yeah.
funny.
But I think you'll see Mboyamba come in. Soon.
He is 23.
I have no idea. Who's Mboyamba? I don't know who that is.
He's a Dutch 18-year-old centre back. Supposedly, I'm doing quotations. Meant to be the next Van Dijk. Very, very tall. He can bloody pass a ball. 6'5". He's on loan at the minute to I can't remember where he went. Crap. Where'd he go? He went. I think he went to a German team. I could be wrong.
I'll have a look. Oh, I don't know.
I'll tell you what Arsenal have done. Cheeky little transfer. Confirmed. We've made our first transfer of the season.
Not Szoboszlai.
January.
Unfortunately,
It's not Szoboszlai. It's you'll know who he is, Sam. I think Omar Rekic from Schalke.
Yes, I know the name. Hertha Berlin, I think, maybe not Schalke, but
Hertha Berlin. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm centre back, 18, 19, something like that. Yeah, I know who he is.
Signed him for our academy. He looks good.
Mbuyamba is on loan to Barcelona. Barcelona under.
He's on loan to Barcelona.
Barcelona's
B team.
Why would you want to loan them to the B team? Why don't you just play me your own under 23s? I don't really see the point in sending someone away.
Well, to be fair, because I think you'd rather he played. For one thing, obviously Barcelona have a great academy, so
I think
good to get experience with it. But also Barcelona's B team do play senior football.
Or is
it's
it?
not like an under 21 team. They play in. I think they're in the third division.
Oh no, I take that back. I take that completely back.
How does that work? Can they not?
He's in our under 23s.
If they win the third division, in Barcelona, do they get promoted?
Yeah.
If they win the second division.
They were in the second division.
No, they can't.
A
I don't think they
couple of
can.
years ago,
No, I don't.
They
were in the second division a couple of years ago.
But if they get promoted from the
I don't think they can go up to the La Liga.
No, they can't. They just stay there.
So what happens if they win? It's like,
if they won it, then it just wouldn't count.
Yeah, no, it would count as them winning it, but like the teams below will go up instead. It's like that extra slot below will go up.
That's kind of dumb, but okay.
But yeah, Mboyamba is meant to be a good centre back.
So we
bought him.
He's still at Chelsea. He's not going on now.
Nah, so we bought him from Barcelona.
You got him from Barcelona. Okay, fair enough.
So he's
on the
23s.
Well, anyway, okay. Can I carry on? Okay. On the subject of exciting young players, I do want to highlight my man Owen Otasoe, who made his Premier League debut in a pretty crazy way. You wouldn't, of all the games for him to make his Premier League debut off the bench at half time against Chelsea it's a bit of a baptism of fire, and I thought he absolutely killed it personally.
I mean, Mason Mount killed him. Went straight for him. That was quite funny.
And he shrugged it off and he carried on going.
It was
dominated the midfield.
It looked good. It reminds me of like how Curtis Jones started. Sort of like his energetic play.
Yeah.
I guess he really had to show his stuff.
He's definitely that kind of box to box midfielder. He's got a lot of energy. He can get up and down the field. Good defensive mindset. Does a lot of defensive work. A lot of pressing.
Yeah.
But he has quality on the ball as well.
You can tell you're looking for a replacement for like João Moutinho because Moutinho's aging now and he hasn't been very good recently, especially not this season.
Yeah, there's definitely been a drop off from Moutinho. He's still got a lot of quality, but compared to his first season for us, where he was like one, in my biased opinion, one of the best midfielders in the league. He's not that anymore. So now it's coming to that time where there's another midfield slot starting to open up.
But you're still playing him over Neves. Like, as in Neves isn't getting a game, which is really confusing me.
Well, it's more of rotation.
I thought he was injured, but he's not.
It's more of rotation. Like Moutinho's getting a game and then Neves is getting a game because
Is
Moutinho
it?
still
Why don't you play
has
them
got
together?
quality, but
They're
that's the
not,
thing.
though.
Like there was a couple of years ago, Moutinho at 31, 32, he still had the stamina to just get up and down the pitch. He was everywhere, and he was doing all the defensive work because Neves does defensive work, but he's not particularly mobile. And Moutinho was offering that like energy in the midfield, but now at 34, Moutinho doesn't really offer that anymore. He still, he'll put a tackle in, but he can't get up and down like he used to. So we can't really afford to play both of them at the same time now because our midfield is too open.
Which I think when you play 4 at the back, you probably play Moutinho over it because he doesn't have to run as much because you tend to have 3 in midfield. So you've kind of got less running as such to do. Whereas
when we have played 4 at the back, we've generally had a 2 in midfield and then we've played a 4-2-3-1 with Podence in cam. So
yeah, but it's Podence will still come back in. It's still a 3 in midfield, really.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's we can't afford to play Neves and Moutinho at the same time anymore. So Dendoncker is a pretty crucial element in the midfield right now, and so Neves and Moutinho kind of swap every now and again. And obviously Neves was the one who played against Chelsea, and I thought he was pretty outstanding.
Yeah, I mean,
really on the ball, he is amazing.
It was quite nice to see that Wolves didn't change to a back 4 against Liverpool, but changed to a back 5 against Liverpool, but you decided to go to a back 5 against us. That was
well.
I think you learned your lesson from Liverpool.
Well, I think that's it. Like, obviously, Nuno thinks. I think Nuno thinks the back 4 is definitely kind of a project, and we want to give it as much chances as we can to really develop into being able to use it consistently. But as we saw against Liverpool, we obviously haven't used it very much, and we aren't really ready to consistently use it against top attacking sides. So
yeah,
he thought, you know what, we got battered against Liverpool. We don't want that to happen again. We're going to be a bit more conservative here against Chelsea. And as much as you got to develop this 4 at the back and for more use, you can't do that at the expense of results consistently.
Yeah,
so I think it made perfect sense to think, right, let's go back to the 5 at the back, give us more chance of getting a result. And obviously, it worked to pretty outstanding effect.
Yeah, I mean, I think one player that is on ropes at the minute with defending is Semedo, though.
He struggled, I won't lie.
That first half with Pulisic on the left,
it scared me.
Days.
He was getting absolutely terrorized. But I think the thing is as well is he's not used to you can't say he's not used to tricky wingers because he's playing in the Liga. But
I was gonna say
I think he just couldn't deal with him. He couldn't deal with Pulisic. I don't know why.
But I mean,
just
not
don't
many
think he's a
people
very
can.
good defensive right
I mean,
back.
look at what Pulisic did at the end of last season. He just rips up.
Well, Bellerin did, but sure, we can say that if you like.
Well, at the end of the day, I defended Semedo's defensive ability last week when we talked about the Villa result, and that was one thing, because he actually played quite well in this game, but he was really bad again up against Pulisic and even Werner at times.
That's what I don't
worried.
get. Sorry, Chelsea were absolutely shredding Semedo on the left hand side with Pulisic. So what do we do?
Yeah.
Pulisic, go over the other side, lad. Go on.
Yeah, that didn't make much sense.
Why?
That was a weird one because Marcel's a much better
Tactical
defender
error.
than
I think because he was
Semedo.
seeing that. I think Lampard was thinking, is Semedo doing bad because of Pulisic or is he just bad? And I think he just thought, well, Semedo's just bad. So if I switch him to the right, he can go and terrorise.
It's just Pulisic for some reason struggles to play on the right hand side now, even though he did that for Dortmund.
Is he left-footed or right-footed?
He's right-footed, but he played on the right for Dortmund.
To be fair,
I guess
at
Dortmund,
he never put up the level of performances that he's done for Chelsea. So maybe, if anything, playing consistently on the right for Dortmund limited him a bit.
Yeah, potentially.
I think it's easy to cut inside as well because you're not going to not easy to cut inside, but he's so used to cutting inside against Premier League fullbacks compared to whipping it in on the right hand side.
But the thing is, though, Chelsea have not played our best front 3 yet.
What is your best front 3?
Well, I personally would say our best front 3 is Pulisic left, Ziyech right, and then either Giroud or Werner up top. But so far, I don't think we
Just
played.
whipping it in.
Yeah, but because we had, I'm pretty sure. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. We haven't had
No, I don't
Pulisic
see
and
that.
Ziyech fit at the same time.
You're thinking of it wrong though, because both of those wingers are inverted because if you swap them, then they'd whip it in more. But
Nah,
both of those
Well,
wingers
if you're
are-
playing with Werner, you don't necessarily want to whip it in.
No, but
Yeah.
you're saying that, Jacob. You're forgetting that we've got Ben Chilwell and
That's also a good
and Reece
point.
James that like literally just run down to the byline. I mean, we
Yeah.
saw it recently with Ziyech and Reece James. Ziyech can cut in and give that either shot or the ball kind of curling in towards the goalkeeper, or he can lay it off to Reece James, who can put in that into outswinger, whatever they're called. But across, and then Pulisic can either
I guess
run in.
you could do an in-swinger.
But we haven't seen it
with
yet,
opposite foot.
which is quite annoying. I'm kind of I've been waiting to actually see what our best 11 is, but I'm not too sure what it is, to be honest.
That's the thing. You kind of like that though, because if you don't know it, then it means you've got a lot of selection in your team.
Yeah,
and
I
they're
mean,
all good.
Because it's like,
Arsenal, you know who their best 11 are, and they're all terrible anyway. But
because I mean, who is our best striker? Like, do you play Werner? Because we haven't seen him enough up top. Giroud, Tammy Abraham can tap.
I think Giroud,
Tammy Abraham's a flipping
Giroud
fox
is
in the
probably your
box.
best striker.
They all have they all have different qualities, isn't it? It's like Abraham's that kind
Gives
of
you the option.
poacher. He's quite strong in the air, but not like, considering his size, he's not outstanding in the air.
Oh, he's dreadful.
But he's he is certainly, we kind of mockingly call him Tap in Tammy, but you have to have the ability to know where to be. And
Be there.
Oh,
Could
yeah.
you imagine
Have
Tammy
those
Abraham
instincts.
under Ancelotti? Abraham under Ancelotti
oh,
would be amazing.
yeah,
Like his height,
like, kind of like Calvert-Lewin, just he'd score loads.
always
but,
hitting it.
and then Giroud's he's got those qualities as well, but also he's more of an older player.
He's an all-round striker. Giroud. He is
Technically, he's an excellent player. With the ball at his feet, he's underrated dribbler as well. And then Werner's, again, he's
The pace
very
version.
very instinctive striker, and his positioning and his ability to find space in the box is really good. And obviously, he's got that added element of just searing pace, be able to utilize on the counter attack.
But yeah,
So
no.
I suppose they all work well in slightly different situations.
Yeah, but yeah,
Like-
as a Chelsea fan,
Depends who you're playing against, right?
yeah. But the thing is, as a Chelsea fan, we've got so much. I mean, Kai Havertz is yet to reach his full potential.
Yeah.
My
Has
video.
he scored in the Premier League yet for you? Oh, should I get back on that? But the audio still works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just carry on.
Has he scored in the Premier League for you though, Havertz?
He is not. Oh no. Has he? He might have done.
I know he scored in the cup game, I think.
He scored a hat trick in the cup, didn't he? Against Barnes.
Yeah,
or
he
something
scored
like
a
that.
hat-trick.
He did, yeah. Wow, I mean, yeah, but who was he playing against? Exactly.
Some team. Not a very good team. But no, I mean, Kai Havertz still got Mason Mount. He hasn't been playing very well. I mean, the amount of goals he scored last season.
I feel like you've overused him a bit. Like, he's still young. I know he's got quality on him, but maybe you need to turn him back into like a young player, because you're playing him like he's a regular starter when he's, how old is he? Like early 20s?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Let me just clap back in.
Oh yeah, we should probably all like.
No, it's fine. You got to carry on. It'll sync up.
I have to resync my video because obviously mine stopped, but we'll do that at some point. This is a really, really good. Like, we've had so many difficulties in this podcast, but loving it.
My recording just
Well-
stopping constantly.
How about we move on to a team that's clearly not having any difficulties right now? For our last discussion of the podcast, that being Liverpool, who absolutely, considering about a month and a half ago, we were saying they might not even be title candidates anymore after Van Dijk's injury. They've
still
put
killing
that myth to bed pretty comfortably, and obviously back.
Can I just say, how did
7-0.
Ayew miss that sway? Did you see the sway that
yeah.
Zaha made for him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Zaha
my
was fuming as well.
I would be.
You couldn't
Zaha
believe it.
at this point is like, why am I still here? Why did I sign that stupid contract that could have been playing for Arsenal now and fighting a relegation battle with them instead of doing it at Crystal Palace? And he messed up. And now he plays for a team that's higher than the club he supports. But, I mean, it was inevitable. I don't think anyone really thought Palace were going to win. I just don't think anyone thought they were going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, no one is ever going to predict a 7-0 loss. It's
No.
pretty insane.
I think the thing is, well, because Firmino, did he score 2 or did he score 3? I think he scored 2.
It's 2.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's good. He's starting to make... I think he's starting to hear the haters now. And he's like, fine, no more defensive duties. I'm just going for goal. And I mean, fair play to him because he scored some great goals.
He's actually, at the end of the day, on his top of his game, he's a world-class striker. No one can deny that. And he's a top-class finisher.
Forward. I want to say forward because he's kind of a forward.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm using semantics, but...
No, I see what you're saying. He's not an out-and-out striker, but at his best.
Yeah.
He's amazing at whatever position it is that he plays.
I kind of feel bad for Mane because he had to come off and then Salah just kind of did his job for him. Salah was amazing at the game. Sometimes I think you forget how amazing Salah is at the sport.
Yeah, I mean,
he does it so often.
It's kind of the price of being good so consistently, and also the price of having won such incredible season as his first season, where he broke the goal scoring record for the league, and everybody thought this guy is one of the best strikers probably the best winger in the world, and then a couple seasons of 20 goals, which is amazing, it seems not as good compared to scoring 30, 32, 33. So he almost, I think he became a bit underrated, and as much as I love Mane, I think Salah's always been better than Mane, and he probably always will be. So
yeah, there was a bit of hype train about Mane with him.
And Mane is an incredible winger and maybe the best left winger in the world, but I think Salah is a bit better.
Might actually be the best left winger in the world. I'm trying to think about it, like Messi, Ronaldo.
Yeah, like who is better than Mane and who is better than Salah right now? I mean, I think 13 goals in 13 games in the league this season.
Yeah, he's crushed it. There's no winger I can think of that's honestly better than him in the top 5 leagues.
Yeah,
like or Mane. Like Messi has been really, really slow in the last couple of games. Although he did alright in his last game against I can't remember who they played. Who else is really there to like compete with Salah other than Messi?
Yeah,
nobody. So
there's no one there.
I agree with you.
So basically,
I think they're going to win the league again, to be honest now.
I think at this point we can see that they had some troubles earlier on, but they're going to win the league again.
Although they are the only club in the last, I think, 6 or 7 years who've been ahead at Christmas Day and not won the league. They're the only club to do it. Which was the season before.
The Liverpool of Jurgen Klopp is a bit different to the Liverpool of Brendan Rodgers. I don't think that they're no longer the kings of bottling it.
Yeah, but don't forget it's didn't we start later this year, the Premier League?
That is a good point to bring up. Like we've played less games at this point. We've played less games at this point than previously.
Yeah, so you
can definitely. Either way, if you can make it through the Christmas period unscathed and still be on top, you probably
I'm not denying that they probably will win the league again, but don't. I mean, this whole Christmas thing of if you're at the top of the league at Christmas, you'll win the league. I mean, we can't use that. This year just because of the game weeks are different.
You can't really compare it this season to any previous season. It's just so different. Everything's been so different.
I mean, Spurs.
There's no real comparisons to make.
I mean,
I think it'll be tighter.
I think because it's a lot closer this season with so many clubs that are involved.
Yeah,
I think it's almost impossible to.
This season, win it. There's much more of a title race, and there will be until the end of the season. I think Spurs will stay in it. I think Chelsea will probably stay up there.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, Chelsea at the minute, we're in 8th. I mean, before today's game, we were only 6 points off Liverpool.
It's so close. It's so close. I mean, Man City have pretty much not been in the top 4 all season. They probably will still finish in the top 4, and they'll
I mean,
probably end up not too far off Liverpool.
The biggest surprise for me is Man United. If they win their games in hand, they're in second.
Where have Man United come from?
So it's like the thing is they're grinding out games. They're doing what a team that wins the league does.
Yeah,
they win games.
It's like it's so ridiculously tight this season. It's partly because of all the craziness that's gone on with no stadium, no crowds in the stadium, all this pandemic. It's messed everything up completely. So at the end of the day, there is still going to be a title race, and Liverpool are probably going to win it, but it's going to be much more exciting than last season.
Yeah,
but the only team that can, I think, compete with Liverpool for the title of best team in Europe pretty much right now would be Bayern Munich. So
I see Bayern winning the Champions League again, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
You know what I'd love to see Liverpool versus Bayern in the semi-final or in the final. That would be some game.
I mean,
I think Bayern will win. I think Bayern will win either way.
Personally, I prefer to see Chelsea.
Because then it comes down to no, but you won't get there.
No, but I prefer them to be there.
It's about Bayern's I think it'll be a battle of defence then. I think there'll be a really high-scoring game, but because Bayern's defence is just so much better at that point. Liverpool, you'll feel the fact they don't have.
See, I don't think it will. I think it'd be the opposite. I think both teams will counter out each other. I think it'd be a really, really even game.
Because if you're who's that? Max Kilman and Fabinho at the back. It doesn't.
Max Kilman?
No, is it Max Kilman?
No, he's a Wolves player.
Max Kilman plays for us.
That's your centre back. That's your centre back, right? Who's the one that's at?
I know who you're on about.
There's a youth one. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah. Him and Fabinho at the
Reece
back.
Williams or something.
I don't remember. Yeah, it's Reece Williams. Spelled weirdly. Him and Fabinho can do it against lower tier and even upper tier Premier League teams. But
Matip and Fabinho would be at the back.
Attack in the world with Lewandowski. Any of those wingers, any of them, like you're not gonna be able to. Unfortunately, I can't honestly see it. So Bayern would win anyway, no matter what.
Oh, I'm not saying they wouldn't win. I just don't think it would be like a 5-4 scoring game type thing. I think it'd be a lot less than that. I think you'd probably win 2-1, 3-1 maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's where we're gonna finish this week's Active Podcast. Is a bit gloomy. I'm just upset. Obviously, I bring the energy, but I have no energy. So
it's been a bit choppy. I mean, my video cut out as well, but we moved.
So many technical.
Yeah,
I'm filming in a hotel room right now.
I gotta say, this hasn't been our finest moment, but we've soldiered through. We've finished it off.
Thanks for watching.
So, thanks everybody to who's stuck with us through this slightly troubled recording.
We appreciate you.
Subscribe, follow us on Twitter, and have
a good Christmas.
Have a good Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.